Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Dark Knight build guide for in Baldur's Gate 3. So this is going to be modeled off the Dark Knight from Final Fantasy, not Batman, but maybe there'll be a Batman build in the future. So we're going to start off here as the fighter. So this is going to be an interesting build. There's two options we can go with. I think defense is one of the best fighting styles because a +1 to your armor class is always nice to have. And great weapon fighting is also a really good choice. When you roll a 1 or 2 on a damage die for an attack, with a 2-handed melee weapon, your die is re-rolled once. So that can increase your overall damage and attack rolls. So I think that great weapon fighting is probably the best to go with if you're using a 2-handed weapon, which is going to be the purposes of this build. We got a very nice build here. So defense can be another great option though. So pick whatever one of these two. I would recommend great weapons fighting, but I'm going to go defense for the purposes of this build. Now, for our ability score, this is where things get kind of interesting because we're going to add in a multi-class, and the multi-class is going to dictate a lot of our stats. So we can actually go a little bit lower on our intelligence and wisdom. We'll take our dexterity up to around 14-ish, and then we can keep our wisdom a little bit higher for wisdom saving throws. Constitution is going to be at 16, charisma 17, and you can even go and take your intelligence up to 10 or something like that. But our stats are going to be roughly around there. We're going to be focusing on strength potions, but alternatively, if you don't want to go with strength potions, we're going to take our dexterity up, our strength up to 14, and it'll be something like that. So this will be the stat allocation if you're going without the strength potions and or strength gauntlets. But yeah, we'll go ahead with this, and there's a reason for it because we can add in a class that's going to change our attack rider. So before I get comments early on in the video that didn't watch the full video, which happens often in these Baldur's Gate videos where people give their thoughts on the ability scores, there's a reason for it, which I'll get into here. So level 2 fighter, you get action surge, fantastic, allows you to get another action, which will give us 3 more attacks later on. For our subclass, now there's 2 ways we can go with this. I think that the Battle Master is my favorite. For flat out damage, the Battle Master just makes sense. The Eldritch Knight allows us to go a bit of a different direction, gives us some cantrips, but the Eldritch Knight's more so focused if you want to do a throw build, and I don't want to do a throw build for this Dark Knight, so we're going to go Battle Master. And for our maneuvers, Riposte is really good, so when a creature misses you with an attack, you can spend a dice to do an attack that deals an additional 1d8 damage. This uses a reaction. I like to always have that. Rally can be good too. This is good for picking up downed allies. It'll give them 8 temporary health points. So if you have a teammate that went down, you can use this to bring them back up. We're not going to pick that for this at this point, but menacing attack can be really nice too. Can possibly frighten the target, which is extremely powerful. Disarming strike is also really nice because it can drop the enemy's weapon, then you can pick up their weapon, and then they become pretty much useless. And yeah, I think that would be the best options here. Fainting attack, you can use both your action and bonus action to attack a target with advantage and deal an additional 1d8 damage. That can be okay, but I don't like using your bonus action for that. So really, it comes down to what you think works best for your character, but I think menacing attack is a really good one. And also, sweeping attack can allow you to hit a couple targets at once, which is really nice. And with the purposes for the purpose of this build, it might be actually the better option here. Trip attack is nice too. You can trip someone and knock them prone. We're going to take sweeping attack just for one reason, which we'll get into. And yeah, that's what we're going to go with there for our maneuvers. Now, at next level, we get ourselves a feat. And this is where things get kind of nice, because we can take up our stats a little bit further. So this is a multi-attribute dependent build, but this is going to sound a little bit weird early on. Maybe early on you could go with something like the Great Weapon Master. That could be an option. When you land a critical hit or kill a target, with a melee weapon you get a bonus. You can attack as a bonus action that turn, which is really nice to get another attack in. Attacks with melee weapons you're proficient with and dealing in both hands do an additional 10 damage and have a -5 attack roll. So you're going to hit less often but hit harder. Great Weapon Master is great early on. If you're already at level 12, we're going to take ability improvement and take our charisma up, which sounds silly, but we're actually going to add in a class that's going to add to that with it. So at level 5, we get our extra attack. That's fantastic. This is when we start to multi-class now. So as I said, we want our charisma up high. At level 6, we do get another feat, but we're going to add in the Warlock here because this is actually quite strong. So for cantrips, I always take Eldritch Blast. It's a no-brainer. Friends is great. If you're the face of the party, take Friends, because that's going to be a very effective cantrip to just help out in dialogue options. But Minor Illusion, if not, because Minor Illusion allows you to move targets around. You can also go with Bone Chill. It would fit the theme of the Dark Knight very well, but we're going to go with that there. Now for the subclass, I really like the Great Old One because attacks that will land when you land a critical hit, you can frighten a target if they don't succeed a wisdom saving throw. Very effective. I'm going to take the Fiend, though, and there's a good reason for this. So, we get temporary health points when we eliminate an enemy, but we get better spells from the Fiend that actually fit with his build very well. So, we're going to get Arbor of Agathis, that gives us temporary health points and deals cold damage. And you can upcast this. And also, Arms of Hadar prevents the target from taking reactions. For our spells, Hellish Rebuke's really nice for another reaction. So, you can go with that if you're getting hit with a range attack. Now you have Riposte and Hellish Rebuke to stop the enemy. Command is another really great spell, but I think Armor of Agathis is really nice too. You only get temporary health points from one target though, so we can go with something like Command, because Command's actually very overpowered. Hex is okay. I used to like Hex a lot, but it's situational. It'll allow you to deal extra damage to a target. I took Hex in a previous video, and someone gave me a hard time for it because they told me that Hex isn't as good as I previously thought. And it is okay, but it does require concentration. It's a bonus action. It'll deal extra damage to the target, so it's nice for that reason. But we're going to go with these two because I think this fits the theme of this build a little bit better. So, yeah, Fiend, Warlock. Now, at Warlock level 2, we get our Eldritch Invocations, and we get another spell slot. I'll take Armor of Agathis, but Hex is another option. Now, Antagonizing Blast will add our Charisma modifier to the damage it deals. Plus 4 Charisma to our Eldritch Blast. And Repelling Blast will add a 4.5 meter pushback. So that's really nice. Being able to knock people off the edge with our Eldritch Blast, it's great. I would recommend using that lineup. Now at level 3 we get our Pact Boon, and we get level 2 spells. I think that Scorching Ray can be nice just to have some extra damage, but also Hold Person can make you very, very unstoppable. This is a concentration, but it holds an enemy still. They can't move, act, or react, and attacks within 3 meters are always critical hits, so that's really nice. For a Pact Boon, Pact of the Blade. Now, what this does is it gives us the ability to use our Charisma modifier as our damage modifier, so that's why I said we want to go higher in our Charisma, because then we can do this. And, yeah, use our spell casting ability modifiers our damage. At level 5, we get the ability to attack 3 times, because we take the extra attack from the fighter, and we add the Warlock's extra fighter as well, or extra attack as well. And you get 3 attacks at level 10, which is earlier than the fighter, which gets to level 11. So this can be a fighter that's stronger than a fighter, if that makes any sense. Now at level 4, we get another cantrip, so Bone Chill, or Friends if you didn't take that. And for our next, Cloud of Daggers is fun, but it requires concentration to deal slashing damage. I think that Scorching Ray can be a good one, or Misty Step is actually underrated because it allows you to move around the battlefield a little bit more freely, and it uses a bonus action, allows us to get into good positioning, which is really important. For our feat, we can go with the Great Weapon Master, but I'm going to take another ability improvement. Take our Charisma up to 20. It's just important for the spell casting and the damage of this build. Here we go. We got Deepen Pack. We get our extra attacks. So we get 3 attacks now, and we can move around the battlefield, and we got a lot of extra damage riders. Now for our spells, Hunger of Hadar and Fireball are 2 classic level 3 spells. Vampiric Touch can actually work for the purposes of this build. Vampiric Touch is great. Touch the enemy and siphon their life force and regain half as many hit points. So it's not as strong, and this requires concentration, which is kind of funny. Yeah, it's 18 damage there. For the Dark Knight, this makes sense because the Dark Knight's about healing itself on attacks, so Vampiric Touch fits that very well. I do think Fireball's a lot more fun, though, and it can be a very effective spell. And Hunger of Hadar can be really good, too. Creatures within are blinded and take damage at the end of their turn and the start of their turn. So we're going to go Hunger of Hadar. It's just the classic Warlock spell, and it fits the Dark Knight theme very well. Now, we want to take Devil's Sight. You can see normally in Darkness and Magical Darkness as well. This is the only way to get Magical Darkness. Someone tried to tell me that you can't see in the darkness that's magical with this, but you can. This is the only feature that'll allow it. Drow cannot see this, but the Devil's Sight allows you to see in Magical Darkness. So it's pretty strong. Level 5 Warlock adds a lot to this class. Now level 6, we can get the Dark One's Own Luck, call on your patron and change your fate and add an additional 1d10 ability check. And we can take another spell, or we can get a feat from the fighter. I think that the feat is a little bit stronger here, and then we can go with the Great Weapon Master, which just increases our overall damage and allows us to make an attack with a bonus action, which is really nice too for just outputting more damage. And then if we go to fighter level 7, we can take another 2 maneuvers. So if you like that, you can go that way. or you can go with the Warlock and you can take another level 3 spell. If we didn't take that extra level of fighter, we could get level 4 spells from the Warlock. Now, I would say that Fireball is the best spell here. I wouldn't recommend Counterspell because we're not going to have as many spell slots as a dedicated caster. So, Fireball could be nice, but Vampiric Touch fits this build. I'm going to take that, but you can take Fireball as well. So, that's what we're going to go with for spells there. 6 and 6 is the way to go. Now, this is what gets this build to be a Dark Knight. So, the armor selection here works pretty well, but this is Sword of Chaos. You get this in level you get this from Savarok later on in the game. This look at all the damage riders I got on it from this class, but this allows you to regain 1 to 6 health points on hit. And if we are doing a sweeping attack with we got Cleave, which is going to target multiple targets there. We can hit multiple enemies, regain health, and also we got Rays of Fire, Immolating Glaze, Lacerate, Rush Attack. We got lots of options here for damage. And then we also got Fly from this outfit. So Helldusk Helmet, Sea and Magical and Ordinary Darkness this doesn't really make a huge difference. We could actually switch this out. It gives you critical hits on attack. I just picked that for the appearance. But the Pyro Quickness hack can be another one if you set a fireball on yourself. It sets yourself on fire, but you get an extra bonus action, which is quite nice. And the Birthright, while it doesn't look the part, you do get a nice charisma of 22, which is very effective for this build. So that could be an option as well. Cloak of Protection, +1 armor class. We get a nice crispy 24 armor class. Helldusk armor. When you succeed a saving throw, the caster receives burning for 3 turns. Resistance to fire damage, cannot be burned. And you take 3 less damage from all sources. So this is the best armor in the game. Very effective for keeping you alive. Helldusk Gloves gives a +1 to spell attack roll, spell save DC, and deals an additional 1 to 6 fire damage with attacks and possibly inflict bleeding. And strength saving blows with +1, plus Rays of Fire, which is a cantrip. Hurl 3 Rays of Fire. This is very similar to whatchamacallit attack there, Scorching Rays, but a little bit different. And for Amulet, I think that the Amulet of Ball is nice, just fits the theme. Inflict bleeding on targets with maximum health points, but the Amulet of Greater Health will give us 142 health, which can help keep us alive a lot longer and give us advantage on Constitution saving throws checks. Plus, starting with the fighter, we get proficiency in Constitution saving throws, so our concentrations won't break, which is nice, because we have a few concentration spells like Hold Person and Hunger of Hadar. Caustic Band adds 2 acid damage, plus the Killer Sweetheart for critical hits. This is a pretty well-rounded build, because you can regain your health on attack. You got the ability to Misty Step around the battlefield, so you can pop up behind people, attack 3 times, take them out. We have our bind weapons, so we can bind and get our charisma modifier on the damage. We got necromancy spells, Bone Chill, and Vampiric Touch, although it's best to just attack rather than use a cantrip. But there are some fights that the bosses will heal themselves, and you can use Bone Chill to completely shut that down. So that's actually a really nice option as well. We can upcast our command. I like command a lot. Command approach is really good. Command drop, you can take the enemy's weapon. Command's an underrated spell, I really do think, and it'll be upcasted. Hold Person's another really nice spell. So we only get the 2 level 3 spell slots, which is kind of limiting in terms of what we can do. So it only gives us the ability to cast a couple spells before we short rest and get them all back. But this is still a pretty strong build overall, and you regain health on attack, so you can get yourself back 6 health points times 3, so 18 health points at max. That's really nice. We can also take out this and put on the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel, as this is actually going to be kind of crazy with what we can do. So we Band of Mystic Scoundrel, if we hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can cast an illusion or enchantment spell. So we can cast a Hold Person or Command after attacking 3 times. So attack, Hold Person or upcast Command and hit 3 people with it. That's really great. It shuts down the enemy really quickly. So the Dark Knight in Baldur's Gate 3 from Final Fantasy. This is a pretty powerful build overall. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what type of builds you'd like to see also in Baldur's Gate 3. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.